I used to have anorexia. I had a mental disorder, okay? I was tiny, and I was doing it as a control mechanism. I was very happy. In fact, the only way to actually get better was to accept that this is a mental disorder, okay? I don't have an issue with that term. I don't think it's a problem because at varying points in people's lives, your mental can get out of order. The issue when you don't acknowledge that it is a mental disorder and you instead just insist that, like, this is a normal thing and people are born this way means it becomes impossible to attack that person. Ideologically speaking, if you start making laws and saying this is real, then that guy who says, I'm 63 years old and I believe that I am 12 on the inside, I never grew up, this is who I am, Peter Pan, send me to Neverland, and he molests another girl and he goes into the courtroom and he says, no, I'm 13. Objective reality is
Yeah,
what I
Neverland is
feel,
definitely not the
right? It's how I feel on the inside. And I actually, Your Honor, feel that I'm actually
That's
16.
against the law.
Now, here's a
Okay,
question.
but
Against the
Here's,
law.
but here's
okay,
a question.
but this is why we have to be a guard, and this is I'm speaking now on behalf of conservatives. We have to be a guard, and we have to say objective reality exists. Okay, objectively speaking, bipolar, it's a disorder. Anorexia, it's a mental disorder. Transgenderism, dysmorphia is a mental disorder. These are all mental disorders, right? And
No,
there
the
are
anorexia is a mental disorder. Being trans is not a mental disorder. So we have to stick to the facts. It is not
so if
anorexia
someone
and
believes they're
schizophrenia
fat
is
and
a
actually they're skinny, you say you have a mental disorder,
I got a
right?
good question.
But you're saying that you are a male, you believe you're a woman, and that's not a mental disorder.
I'm just being specific. Trans and anorexia, mental disorder and not mental disorder. The APA, you only have to ask the APA. These are trained psychiatrists. And I understand that conservatives will want to say that's to fill an objective, but at the end of the day, it is what it is.
Well, they just
We're
updated
not
that
a mental
manual
disorder.
in the last couple of years. Like,
Yes, exactly,
it was
because it was
literally a mental
but
disorder.
but it was misinformation, and conservatives in the past.
And someday they'll update that same manual and they will say that minor attracted people, which is a term that they're tossing around
hope
now because
not.
they're saying it's offensive to call them pedophiles, and we should instead call them minor attracted people. Someday they're going to push to update the manual then, which is why I insist on being a guard against that.
And
There
that's
is
illegal
objective
behavior,
reality.
and I don't want that attached to anything to, what LGBTQ
How do you feel about
is.
that? Talking about people saying, I identify as a 12-year-old.
Damn, my hand was up for so long, I forgot what I was gonna say. Well, I want to say, damn, I had something good I wanted to say. How many people in the world are statistically suffering from a mental disorder? Because I think that's how we'll respect the word mental disorder as opposed to your perspective in life.
It just means that your mental is out of whack.
But how many people in this world are going through that?